I don't know about you, but we have a major shoe problem in our house. I thought I had solved it years back when I bought this IKEA HEMNES shoe cabinet, but when the kids' shoes started getting bigger, go figure, their feet grow, the shoes no longer fit like they used to. And a year ago when we extended the wall out for our dining room to office renovation, the cabinet didn't fill the space and I came up with a solution. But I didn't stop by just adding one. I gave it a full makeover. I can't wait to show you my process. Me and the kids pulled out all the shoes. We headed over to IKEA on the 4th of July. We are braving IKEA on the 4th. You guys say hey.
Hello.
Say hey.
I got
My mom too. There's my mom. We made her come with us. We're here to get the shoe shelf. You guys are gonna be blown away by this transformation. This video is not sponsored by IKEA, but I love IKEA, and if you don't have one near you, you need to take a field trip to visit one, especially with your kids. I have so much fun at IKEA. There's all these rooms that are set up, and the kids every time want everything that's in the room, but we just have so much fun looking around, searching for fun stuff, and we found the shoe cabinet. So we took it home and assembled it. I loop my kids in every time I have a piece of furniture to assemble because I tell them it's just like a large Lego set. The first step in this process is to prep all the pieces. So I needed to take this one outside and our shoes were everywhere in the front hallway. My garage space is really crowded right now because I, at this point, was having surgery in about a month, and so I needed to clear everything out, so I was trying to get a bunch of projects done. Now, I took my sander, my dust-proof, it's dustless. It sucks up all the dust. This is a surf prep. If you can't afford a surf prep, that's okay. You can get any other sander. Anything works great. I just like this one because while I've got a lot of stuff around, I'm not getting dust on everything. I realized as I was finished sanding that I should have taken off all this hardware inside. So then I spent the next probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes taking off this hardware, resanding those spots because I knew that if I tried to paint over this plastic, it wasn't gonna adhere at all, and it was gonna look better if all of them were just white on the inside. After I got off all the hardware that I needed to, I gave everything a rub down with some furniture cleaner to make sure that the surface was deglossed so that I could paint it. This wasn't the raw wood one that you can also get from IKEA. This already had a primer on it, and so I felt comfortable just putting the oil-based enamel that I got from Lowe's right on the top. For this IKEA furniture flip, oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. I really tried not to choose green, you guys. I'm sorry. Couldn't help myself. We were thinking possibly black, then we were thinking beige or tan. Like, that entryway is just hard because it's like as soon as you walk in the home, you know? And so I've got my like new floral beige and muted color bathroom on the left and the dark green office and wood on the right. And so I went with a little bit lighter muted green as the middle ground. So I'm excited. I'm gonna strain it in my micron strainer. This is an oil enriched enamel. I chose this because this is a high traffic area. I also got it made in satin, so it's gonna be very easy to wipe. It has its own top coat in it, so it's not like a chalk or mineral paint where I have to top coat it and just worry about the kids dinging it up or slamming them shut. So let's get this going. It's a bit thick, so I'm gonna let this drain for a while. One thing I love about the oil-rich enamel, I used it on our desk and our walls in the office. I used a semi-gloss. I didn't love that. But you can recoat it in 4 hours, and then it is clean up with warm soapy water. And so just always read the back of these to make sure that you know what you're getting into. Even though it says oil enriched, I don't have to clean it up with a lacquer thinner or anything toxic like that. So it is draining, so it is gonna go through. It does say do not thin on the back of this, and so I am not gonna thin it with water because I feel like it would mess up the consistency of the paint. Just a little bit slow. So I'm gonna open up the gun like full. I'm gonna open it up to the full setting. Using my Flexio 5000 to paint now. As soon as I started spraying this, I got really frustrated because it was almost spitting as it was coming out. It wasn't laying as smooth and as fine. It wasn't atomizing the paint well, but I had already taken off my air compressor gun, so I couldn't switch over to that, so I had to make do with this gun. On the can, it does say do not thin, and so I didn't want to add water and then potentially just ruin the entire can. What I should have added was Floetrol, but I didn't think about that until after the fact, and the second coat that I sprayed, you'll see, it looks so good. So I just got through the first layer, which was just spitting everywhere and not looking like it was gonna level, and it actually ended up turning out well, and then the second layer looked really good. So even if it's not spraying great at first, don't give up, don't stop your project, just keep going. When the shoe cabinets themselves open, you can see inside of the cabinets, and so that's why I'm painting everything separate. I wanted to make sure that I painted the inside of this cabinet so that it wasn't going to be a stark contrast from the outside green to the inside white. It's the next morning, and as much as I hated the spray yesterday, guess what? It leveled out flat. These are beautiful. One more coat and we'll be good to go. So you can spray oil-based enamel. It's just not pretty. It's not pretty. These look pretty. I left the paint in my gun overnight. I gave it a quick stir in the morning, and then my overlap pattern was about 50%. It actually sprayed much better the second day, which was odd, but I was happy that it was just going on and it was drying smooth. So I made sure to cover up every crack and crevice, and the second coat goes on a little bit slower so that I can make sure I'm overlapping properly and going in a straight pattern. Afternoon cup of coffee, and my workers getting after putting the little pieces back in. As much as I could have been more careful, this stuff comes off so easy off plastic with lacquer thinner. Clean these up. Then it came time for the day that I got to put it back in my house. I was so excited. Now these do not stand up by themselves. They only have the two legs in the front, and then they sit on your wall. Now they screw in on the back bar, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So you run the stud finder along the wall until it finds you a screw, which is right below this. To install this into the wall, I used a pilot hole. I went in right here. Now I'm going to go in with a wood screw, and I'm going to make sure that this does not come off the wall ever. Now I need to go cut the piece for the top. So excited. I just realized I mixed these up. It's supposed to be like that. I don't think it matters, but it sucks. Now for my favorite part, the new top. I headed over to my dad's workshop where I had some old barn wood lying around. Using a table saw and a miter saw in my workshop, I cut the wood down to size, but I ran into a small issue. I didn't have a piece long enough. So I ended up using 2 different pieces of barn wood that were similar in the wood style, but they didn't quite match in color. When I got it back to my workshop, I sanded both pieces down and used a dark gel stain called brown mahogany to give them more of a uniform look. I just sanded this down with 80 grit, and I'm just gonna clean it off with mineral spirits so that I can hopefully stain it. I'm trying to match. Now I'm trying a gel stain because this wasn't getting as dark as that, so it's more like a paint on. And then you wipe it off. After the stain dried, I added a layer of polyurethane to seal the top and protect it from the everyday wear and tear. I got these poles from Amazon and I'll link them in the description below. This project turned out even better than I imagined. Now with double the storage and a sleek new look, it not only solves our shoe problem but adds a stylish touch to our home. So if you're thinking about upgrading your IKEA pieces, give this a try. The color on this made all the difference for me and I loved the dark top. Do you think I should stain the knobs or just leave them as is? Now each kid has 2 different shoe compartments that they can slide their shoes into, and I have 2, whether it's for my stuff, my shoes, or the kids' winter stuff, and winter is coming. I decorated the top for fall and I love these candles that I got. I linked some similar ones. These are actually from Marshall's, but I found some similar ones on Amazon that you can check out. They also come with a remote. As always, if you loved this video, then like it for me and leave a comment below. And yes, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know what you think about this transformation.